Who do we have today, Purva?
Very interestingly, and I was researching about her, Arun, and every chapter in her life is like a poetic adventure, right? The diverse experiences, the culture that she's gone through and experienced herself. She comes from an army background, and the resilience and the perseverance that she's brought in, and of course the unyielding belief of the power of education. She started, with 5 girls, and now runs a school called Vidya, and has impacted over 4 lakh families. Just amazing to see the inspiration she's creating, and she's giving so many women and young girls wings to fly. And with that, let me introduce you to Mrs. Ashmi Mishra. Mrs. Ashmi, thank you for being here with us today.
Thanks. Wonderful.
Thank you. So good to have you. She talked about the army background.
Yes.
Let's start there.
Wonderful.
What's the impact of being part of an army family?
First, lovely to be here with you, with the ZS family, and I'm delighted and honored to be part of this golden hour. Well, I was very lucky. I was brought up in a lovely army background family, very modern. Since that, I belong to the early 60s. So I was very fortunate. My grandfather was the first general in the British Army, and then my eldest uncle was the first Paramveer Chakra, saved Kashmir for India in 1947. My father, and every branch of the army, we have a very senior member of the family. And they inspired us as youngsters to give back.
And that giving back attitude, mentality, I think continues till today. Every time I read about the beginnings of Vidya, it's quite inspirational to me. I know Apurva, you talked about 4.5 lakh family impact. It started with, I can almost vividly picture in my mind these girls playing in some dirty water, having a couple of sleepless nights saying, hey, it's not okay. What about that vivid moment? What can you pinpoint? Like, what inspired you? What made you pause and say, I got to do something?
Arun, we are so fortunate to have everything in our lives. We got a great education, we had great families, but we lived in the IIT Delhi, which is like it was enclosed with a wall with real life. So real life was outside. Artificial life was inside. Everybody empowered, everybody educated. But across the wall, it was just the complete contrast. Everybody was illiterate. Nobody had opportunity. And there was a hole in the wall, and there was a dirty nala. And there was these young girls always in this dirty water. I was bringing up my own 2 children. And I had the courage to walk up to them. It takes courage to walk up to these little kids. I said, why aren't you in school? He says, where are you coming from? Don't you know girls don't go to school? That only boys go to school? And they had younger siblings they were looking after. And it hit me because I realized that they're just let's give them the opportunity. Everything will change. And they, not only in slums of Delhi and Bombay and Bangalore and everywhere, these young girls, 4, 5, 6, are the surrogate mothers because the mothers go to work. They can't afford otherwise to leave their kids. So these little girls were cooking, cleaning, babysitting, the works at 5, 6, no childhood. So I invited them home, which I had never thought and the rest is history.
I was thinking about this, Arun, that we can have an idea, right? But an idea to an execution so brilliantly done and creating a beautiful thing like Vidya, it feels daunting. What did you go through and how did you make it happen?
Apurva, I can't tell you. It was, every little step at a time was a challenge. I brought them home. The next thing was to find space. And the next thing was to start a school. So at every point, I think it's the people surrounded that me. I created mentors, I made friends, I connected volunteers from the campus itself. And at one point, it's very strange. I went to some dinner and I said, look, I teach these kids at home. From 5, they became 25 in no time. And imagine if I had a uniform for them. And the next day was a bale of cloth at my doorstep. And I had no idea till today who brought it for me. So at every step, you start thinking, dreaming. But I was very focused on the fact that what I wanted to do was to give them a high quality education, a holistic, a happy education, a joyful learning where they could actually change their everyday life. So that was the purpose of Vidya. Till today, that is still our mission. We call it educate, empower, and transform. That are the 3 words that stand strong in Vidya, and it's across board.
So this idea of personal mentorship, an ecosystem. You touched on that. You needed that support of some people and some kind strangers. You don't even know who helped with the uniforms, for example. Talk a little bit about the ecosystem that's required to support, good initiatives like this, and perhaps link that to, maybe representation as well too. Because we think about ecosystems in enabling our women leaders, right, to go on to become even bigger leaders. So, can you perhaps contrast that?
Yeah. So, I used to dream Vidya all the time. I used to eat, walk, dream Vidya day and night. I still do. Yeah, I'm in my 70s now, but it didn't matter. Because at every step, you realize there's another step that has to be done. So from the beginning, we looked at every individual child as we can take him, hold his hand, her hand, till they're employed and beyond. Because otherwise, we drop them, they'll go back to cleaning cars and going back because their parents are illiterate. But what I realized is that for anybody to do this, you have to have a little vision, a little interest, a little, that you really want to do something, and then the universe makes it happen. You need the support of, you can get mentors, you have to get a people around you who have the same concept in their mind. That's what I did. It's very important to be very focused on what you want to achieve. And in Vidya, I've been very, very fortunate. I have an amazing team. I mean, one of the reasons why we reach so far is I have an amazing team of teachers. We're almost close to 700 of us across the country. We have 300 projects at present. And each one is imbibed with that concept. We give them a lot of freedom. So it's not difficult to break that wall, that ice wall, and to achieve things. And I think education is the miracle, the magic that transforms. So for anybody who wants to do something similar, trust your belief, trust your vision, trust what you want to do. Create a group that can support you, and work towards it in such a way that you don't lose that focus, and realize that what you are feeling, others feel too. If there's a power of one girl who aspires to do something unique in her office, and in that is, I do a parallel to myself. You have to be a power of one. You have to believe in yourself. Women have multitask. They have a lot of other responsibilities like home and family. We play so many roles as women. We have to. But then, we know how to balance it. Women know how to balance it, and they survive that.
Let me ask you a question on that. Then you were talking about personal ecosystem, and a part of my research also tells me that because you did move a lot of cities and countries as well because of your husband's job as well, and you had this passion too. How did you make sure it's still alive and being able to then I have a passion, but I'm following somebody else's career, etc. Tell us a little bit more there.
That was a tough one I played. The first people you have to win over is your own family. If they don't believe in what you do, you can't do it. First job is to win your family over to what you believe in and make them a partner, make them, get their advice. I did it for my children and for my husband. He became the director of IIT, and, I went as the first lady. So I had a lot of tasks. I saved the Powai Lake, for example. I set up all kinds of organizations. But then I said, I have to, he gave me a challenge. He says, can you educate the guards? They were all illiterate. They were angutha chap, what that means, no?
Yeah.
For their salary. So Vidya came in and educated all the guards in a matter of 6 months. I even got the chairman involved, the chairman of IIT involved. I said, please come to the class. They are studying to do their NIS. They're going to be 10th and 12th pass, and you have to give them the next level of salary, right? So it's a matter of involving, because education is the only future, and attitude changes with education. So whatever you do, so for example, a lot of the alumni used to come to visit us, and they were giving large sums of money to Vidya, to IIT. Sorry, excuse me. And I said, I never asked for Vidya. I played the role, but then once in a while they told me, so what do you do? I said, oh, this is what I do. One of them said, shall I give to you instead of to IIT? I said, no, we'll have a battle at home. Please give it to IIT. I come later.
This notion of inclusion, I think it's a powerful concept because there is an the organization can do more to make things inclusive, but my mindset can also change. So I strive to make the organization more inclusive as well too. Do you subscribe to that?
Absolutely. See, it takes both sides, and it's very important for an organization to have as many women as they have men, because it balances. They come with like left side and right side of the brain. The what they can bring to the organization is huge. So I think it's very important to bring that inclusive. And in Vidya, from the very beginning, we teach the boys and girls equality.
So this balance of having to take on the responsibility to solve the problem versus expecting that the organization has to do its bit. I mean, it's tough for me to turn and look at Apurva and say, you want a better, more representative organization, you do more. That's a challenging ask on my part, right? So how do we, how shouldn't I also, as an ally, to take some responsibility to ensure that I do my bit, and how do we balance that?
I think very, very much it is your attitude. If you can give women bigger challenges in your company, you will find that they'll be doing better than anybody else. So it's what you offer.
So Apurva, do you feel a sense of pressure? Like, hey, if I keep bringing up this notion that we should have more representation, and people say, oh my God, here she goes again. And there's this, but if you don't, you don't see enough progress. So on one hand, in order for you to make progress, you got to bring it up.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you bring it up, then you're tentative about what the reaction of others might be. Is that something that you...
There is some element of, sometimes I feel, am I bearing the cross for it, of being a leader in the organization, some of amongst the few women leaders. And it does come in with saying, if I have this topic brought in again, then I'll be seen in that light always, right? But I also do believe very passionately that I think there are only few role models. And if I can, I've been privileged and grateful to be either in the ecosystem or to have achieved had this reality in my journey. How can I enable more? How can I mentor more? How can I be the voice that can be amplified? So I think in my mind, I do go through this debate, but the latter absolutely wins it every time. There is no thinking around it.
Just wherever you are a leader, create more.
Yeah.
And that's a very important thing to do. That's what we do in Vidya. So a lot of our teachers have taken on lots of new leadership and, give huge challenges to the leaders that you're creating. Creating leaders are the best thing you can do.
So what's your leadership philosophy? If I was to ask you, Mrs. Mishra, describe your leadership philosophy. You're obviously a great leader, having created enormous impact, so many lives. What is your leadership philosophy?
For me, the most important thing is to create more leaders and to share this concept of what we're trying to do. It's a very simple concept. Really believe we have to educate India, very simply.
Yeah. So Apurva, maybe we can also think of each in some way like that, because as much as it's about educating on allies and champions, it's actually creating that sort of empathy and that, more broadly as well too, right?
And I think our ally program each is creating that movement within the organization. I think it's doing really well.
And paths to principle too, perhaps to some degree, things along those lines. So, this frustrating experiences, and learning from how do you deal with it? I mean,
you want to hear some stories? You won't believe what I did.
Yeah.
So we had to buy land. I went to find it to a very big, the people, they're very big. And they gave me a wrong piece of land. We paid for it through a donor. And so I finally said, I have to fix these guys here. This is not going to work. So I went to the founder of the organization and I invited him to Vidya. He says, I don't do charity. I said, oh boy, you don't do charity? So you'll ask me for something, so I'm not coming. So finally, when we sat down for a cost of the land where I run the school now, which is 5 acres, he was on the 25th floor of a Connaught Place fancy air-conditioned office. Never been to a slum, never seen a slum kid. I took 10 kids and hid them in his office. And before we sat down for the meeting, I said, I have a surprise for you. She said, in my office? I said, yeah, in your office. Will you step out with me? So the kids surrounded him, touched his feet, bright, happy, shining kids, gave him a card. He says, Uncle Ji, hamara school kab banega? And his heart melted. Believe it or not, even a hard heart melts. And the price came down and we got the land. So this is how we manage. And challenges are every single hour, every single day.
What do you think is the role of the new technology that's coming up, and how does that transform the way that you're looking at education and, of course, the way we can bring in inclusion in our organizations?
Wonderful. So we started a digital program in 2002. And today we have 60 of these computer centers running across the country in schools, government schools, in communities, in our own Vidyas. And we've created almost like a movement of that. So everybody gets a certificate, NIT certified, speaks English, and has life skills. Life skills, like I shared with you, is what values. Now what we've gone a step ahead, because we realize that we have to get them employable. We are building a 4-storied digital center called the Discovery Hub, where they can actually do creativity, innovate, learn all the forms of AI. Children, youth, and women. We are concentrating on girls. This is going to be a hands-on program, so they're aligned with what the world needs.
Just like you said that you are the mothers involved in the education of girls. At ZS, we are doing, of course, something called a family day. Yes. All of these young girls that are coming into the workplace, of course, have educated parents, but there are some of them, and most of them are first generation working. Right. So what happens is when you get the family in the office, they meet the peers, they meet what they, where they sit, what they do. There's a huge sense of empathy and pride in their daughters, daughter-in-law, sisters. So, I could draw a parallel of how getting a family who's influencing you every day can play a huge role in their lives.
Right. We always say in Vidya that we are a tripartite group. One is the student, the teacher, and the parent. Because unless you get the family involved, that success, that feeling will never come at home. That, it's very, very important. That is why we call it a Vidya family. Vidya is 40 years old, so you had all kinds of experiences. Yeah.
I have another curious question. Yeah. You said 40 years of Vidya,
yes.
And such passion that you still have for it. Yes. What has been the impact of Vidya on you as an individual?
Oh my gosh, makes me cry. It's completely changed me. I think what's been amazing is what I've learned from every woman and every child. See, when you go to rural India, you see the hardships of women. They get up at 5, they have to fill water, they have to look after everyone from mother-in-law to husband. They get beaten every night, and yet they smile. And when you educate them, there's a fine difference that comes through. They can manage all this. They can manage the mother-in-law, they can manage the husband, they can manage all the problems. This is India, and this is women are the strength of India, I tell you that. That's one thing I've learned. Other thing I've learned is that this team that I have, I'm so grateful to, because they've understood. See, they're not just teaching, they are transforming every single day. So that is the bridge that we created. And I'm very proud of that we could create that bridge.
It's incredible because all the concepts that you talk about are directly applicable in any large corporation. Mm-hmm. And, if I were to summarize a few things that I learned today, the first one is, I think we all have belief systems, but we have to trust those belief systems. And sometimes there are hurdles. But don't lose focus. Be resilient. Because that resilience is what will carry you through. Right. And I think that was one important principle. And the second one was very heartening for me to hear you say this, is that one of the core tenets of being a good leader is to create other leaders. Because it's not about solving every problem for everybody, but it's enabling others to solve problems of themselves. And the third thing was the heartwarming story of the Connaught Place 25th floor. Because, if I look at that same parallel in our universe, I think the more I can get folks to understand and feel each other's situations, the better the organization as a whole gets to move ahead. And so how do you do that? By having you live in my shoes for a minute and for me to live in your shoes for a minute. So absolutely incredible nuggets of wisdom here, Mrs. Mishra. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for coming and joining us today. What a pleasure, what a treat.
Absolutely. Thank you so
I
much.
think it's a
Vedant.
treat for me, and I invite you all, anybody in ZS, to welcome to any of the Vidyas. We have 300 Vidyas across 7 cities. So please come visit.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.